Hey there, welcome back. Tonight on Diversified Diecast, we're going to do a little more of a Giant Lightnings. We're going to do the class of 71. These are mail drops that I opened up on film, I guess, last night, if you will. So it's going to be this one here. These are all 2021 release 2s. It's going to be that one. This one here. Back of the card. I'm not sure if these are in order, but I'll try to put them back in order if they're not. And the fourth one's going to be this one. So if memory serves me right, I have the color variants of these, A and B. And this is the bottom of the list. So this will be the last two. And GSX is on top. So it's going to be this guy. And so we're missing the 71 Ford Torino, missing the 71 AMC Javelin, AMX. And, oh, sorry. This is number 4, the Cuda convertible. So Buick's number 1, no Ford Torino cover from 71, no 71 AMC Javelin. Number 4 is the Cuda, and number 5 is the 71 Chevelle SS. So let's just dive right in. We'll cut them open, check roll quality, and then we'll get close up, chassis shots, hoods, what have you, and turntable, Weatherbird, do the quick muscle facts, and that'll be it. Try to get them cranked out. So this is one of 7298, Fire Red. Again, these are all 1971 year models, hence the class of 71. Tin spoiler on this one's not really that great. I'll show you all that here in a minute. See how the hood opens. Not too bad. See how it rolls. It rolls. It's got some issues, but again, these Giant Lightnings are. Oh, here we go. This may be part of the problem. Meant to check all the tires before we did that. Yeah, it's the rears. Let's see if we can get that straight, and then we'll try it again. See, not perfect, but pretty good. Giant Lightning uses a 2-piece wheel system, and sometimes when these things sit on cards for a little while, the flat spots in the tires cause them to kind of in roll or out roll, and it misshapes the tire. Sometimes you just got to kind of finagle it, but not bad. I'll take it. 8 out of 10 on the roll quality. This is a 77, one of 707, one of 7,754. It's the Chevelle SS Big Block 454. This is in Mulsanne or Mulsanne blue. Not sure how you pronounce that. Never heard of that color. I've done my fair share of research on 64 to 72 muscle cars. I don't remember. I mean, I know this color because I've seen this car in this color, but I don't remember being called that. I was hushing the razor blade, not the dog in the backyard. Very nice. Got one little spot on this tire, but we'll give it a same thing, probably 8 out of 10. Really nice car. Beautiful color combo. Black vinyl top. Love that. Spring loaded hood. Really nice engine bay. We'll get a good look at that here in a minute. Very nice. Very, very nice. If these two are just as good as those two, very happy. Okay, one of 7,418. This is the standard variant, version A. of the 71 Plymouth Cuda. Hey, Rocket, how are you? It's my old guy, old 12-year-old puppy. Not a puppy, he's a pooch. He was a puppy a long time ago. He's just kind of scanning the area like a great Pyrenees. You know, he thinks he's got to monitor his block. You know what I mean? Stance on this car is not perfect, but tires look really good. Detail on it's really nice. Interior too. Awesome roll quality. Really good weight. Every time I see the Plymouth Cuda Dodge Challenger convertible 7071, sorry, think of the Nash Bridges car. Actually, I was talking over a trade for a Giant Lightning that was released probably it was probably shortly after the show aired or ended. And if that car would have had rubber tires, I would have got it. Because I love Miami Vice. Don Johnson was great in that show. I had a third birthday themed Miami Vice. Let me get this real quick. Apparently, border collie hair on the camera. And when Nash Bridges come out, it was kind of like I wouldn't say it was a reboot because it was nothing like it, but him being in that role and having that ride, you know, that was kind of like his calling card, you know, and Cheech Man, those guys, they were something else in that show. I remember watching it, you know, as a teenager, and it was really cool to see that car pop up as a trade offer. But it was a really old variant and had the plastic wheels, but it was textbook to the car. And I'm a big e-body person. I love the Cudas and Challengers, always have. So again, super nice roll quality. Man, that thing is perfect. It's probably better than that Corvette. Let's do a comparison. Yeah, it's close. This one's got a little more noise, probably because it's a little bit lighter and the hood's, you know, moving around just a little bit more. But this Cuda is really nice. Perfect. So happy. That is why I love this hobby. Okay, the other version B, um, same amount produced, 7,418. This is Winchester Gray. Come on. Who wouldn't want a Cuda with a paint code named Winchester? This is something John Wayne would drive. I mean, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? That's a really pretty car. Wow. This thing is. Uh-oh. Looks like we got it. All right. Wheel's trying to come off the axle. Hopefully that won't affect our roll quality. Not perfect, but pretty good. Probably a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. It's got a little pull to the right. But what a beautiful car. Wow. These things are going to look really good up close. Sweet. Okay. There you have it. Let's slide the camera over here real quick. I'll resituate the mic here in just a second. So I'll get the camera slid over. And we'll get some up close shots of these things. And we'll turntable them. Okay. GSX Buick. I don't think I've ever seen one in this color red. Like I said, most of the time you see or think these cars, it's that teal, the glacier white, or that yellow. Let's see what the 455 looks like. And got the air intake right. Nice job, Johnny. GSX on the plate. There's the undercarriage. Casting info. Black interior. Striping's really well. Nicely placed. So I was talking about the chin spoiler. They were deep and kind of like that, but it's probably a little too far back. Should be a little bit more forward. But still, very nice. Roll quality was so-so. Okay, Chevelle 454 SS. Really beautiful color. Black vinyl top. Oh, yeah. Looks like the Revell models back in the days, huh? Who remembers that? Who put together 124 scale models out of the box? Oh, I did. I have a funny story I can tell y'all. We go to the turntable about box models. It's a good one. My bad. Roll quality in the GSX and the Chevelle are pretty much the same. Not perfect, but acceptable. All right. Plymouth Cudas. This is the version A. Now, it's cool. They even got the Cuda shaker labeled Cuda. These cars are nicely done. Look at the wrinkle on the rag top for the convertible. That's a nice touch. You can actually see the grain of the vinyl. Look at that. Wow. 102. I'm assuming this is. Huh. That's weird. This one's 102 and this one's 102. There's your undercarriage. Pretty good finish on the bottom of this one. Chevelle is kind of dull. Visors are actually pretty accurate. Painted black on top. That's a nice touch. Look at the color on this guy. Beautiful. Same thing. Got the grain in the vinyl. These hoods aren't. Ooh, that did not sound good. Neat. Very nice cars. Man, they look good together too, don't they? Okay. Get these guys up on the turntable, and I'll read you all the muscle facts on these, and then I got a great story to cap the night off this short video tonight. So stand by. Okay. The red and black color scheme on the GSX was new for 71. Okay, that probably explains why you don't see very many in red, because a lot of these cars, your instant, thought and prognosis is in 1970. Second fact, only 124 units of this GSX were produced in 1971. Super low. So if you see a 71 GSX, it's a rare one for sure. Straight out the General Motors ad, Motor Trend magazine. Such a classic, iconic car. I mean, any Chevelle especially 69, 70, 71, 72. These cars they just hit the hard notes. You know what I mean? Okay, 71 Chevy built 2,275,694 cars. Of those, nearly 15% were some trim level of the Chevelle. It tells you how popular this thing was. So, amongst all the Chevrolet pickups, Suburbans, vans, hell, Bel Airs, Impalas, Caprice, Biscaynes. I mean, the list goes on. 15% of them. That means roughly what, 1 in 7 or 8 cars was some form of trim level of a Chevelle. Now I wonder if that also covers the Malibu, or that's just a Chevelle. So that would also be um, a lot higher production for a Chevelle, because if they're saying it's strictly Chevelle and not Chevelle Malibu, that means there was a ton of these things made. So 10% of 2,275,000 is 275,000, 230, 280,000, something like that. So even if a third of those are Malibus, that's still 200,000. 70. That's a ton. The Chevy Chevelle was manufactured through 1977. Well, let me tell you, the 73 through 77 Chevelle was not the same Chevelle that we knew. Definitely like this 70, 71, 72, or even 68, 69. Really going back to 67. Okay, in 2014, a fully restored 71 Plymouth Hemi Cuda was sold at Seattle Mecum auction for $3.5 million. Wow. It became the most expensive Mopar ever sold, eclipsing the 1970 Hemi Cuda, selling for $2.2 million 1 year earlier. That's pretty significant. So, wow, interesting. Again, this one's in paint code A4 2314 Winchester Gray. This is the version B car. Okay, version A car. This is W3 2300 Snow White. Snow is in SNO, not snow as in SNOW. Same facts on this card. Okay, let me get resituated. I'm gonna pause the camera, put it back on my ugly bug, and I'll tell y'all a nice story to close the night off with. It'll give y'all a good laugh and give y'all some good ambiance to end your night with. So stand by. Okay, story time begins. So this is probably Christmas of 95, 96. Um, I'll try to keep this about 5 minutes because I know everybody loves story time. Somebody doesn't, and we'll get through this quick. But from the ages of probably 8 to at least 12 or 13, I would say, maybe even closer to 14. Um, I love building 124 scale, plastic models, kits, muscle cars, trucks. It didn't matter, but automobile stuff. Not tanks or military stuff like that. But I had probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 probably built. And this is back when we used to cut sewing thread, make the plug wires. We would hand paint everything. We had little airbrush kits. I mean, you'd spend upwards of a month sometimes after school, time in between chores on the weekends, what have you, when the weather's bad. You just didn't throw these things together, and I was starting off with level 1s, 2s, 3s, but, I had several of them put together. They're in my room. And obviously, my dad would get them for my mom, my stepdad, what have you. But I remember, this is a great story. So going back to that, my dad used to have a house not far from where I live now, over here, Beltway and 225 in Pasadena, Deer Park area. And he had this huge box sitting next to the Christmas tree. And for some reason, he had his Christmas tree up early that year, shortly after Thanksgiving. And I remember I went over there, every other weekend, and there's this huge Christmas present, sitting next to the tree. It basically covered up the entire fireplace. This box was probably 4 feet tall. It was probably 2.5 by 2.5. It was huge. And it was all wrapped, had a big old bow on it. And of course, it had my name on there. Was the only child, in that household, right? And I was like, man, what could that be? And it wasn't like super heavy, but it had some weight to it. And, so I went over there for probably 2 or 3 more weekends before Christmas come around. And I finally, got to open this thing up. I want to say it was Christmas Eve because I spent Christmas Eve day with him. And he opened some other presents that I gave him that he had. And I opened some more of mine. And he left this one for last, obviously, because it was the biggest. And mind you, my dad ran a landscape business, high pressure cleaning, landscape, small general contracting stuff. But predominantly, he was a landscaper. I mean, he did car dealerships and residential yards, you name it, a little bit of everything, right? Other small businesses all over town. So I tear into this box, man, like a Wolverine. I'm shredding paper everywhere, and the excitement's just overfilling me. I'm like the Christmas Story, right? And I see it's a backpack blower, and I would have paid anything to get the look on my face. For Christmas, I got a brand new backpack blower. Still backpack blower. So I look at my dad like, oh, cool, a backpack blower. He goes, yeah, man, that's so whenever you help me, you got your own blower. He really sold it. I mean, he got me signed up for, no money down, 0%. He was laying on thick, and I was buying it. Like, I mean, the hook was in my mouth, and I was like, he legitimately got me a leaf blower for Christmas. And because I'd help him, in off time, summers, even at that age, 10, 11 years old, I'd be working with him. Time in between, school breaks and what have you, I was always helping him, even at that young of age. he salivated, getting the goat out of me for probably 3 or 4 minutes. He says, "No, son, go ahead and open it up." So he threw me his pocket knife, and I opened it up and cut the box open. And he had like 12 or 13 models buried in there. And he had all kinds of like chunks of bricks, and he had like rocks from some of the work that we had done to weigh down the box. But he had all them things like in grocery bags, all tied up. And he had a little bit of everything in there. And I can't remember what models they were. One of them for sure, I think, was a 70 or 70 Chevelle, 71 or 70 Chevelle. And I want to say it was not this color blue, but it was very close to this car. That's kind of why I want to tell the story. Um, it was all kind of mixed grab. It was pretty much all muscle car because that's what, everybody liked growing up. Even me being 30 years after that era. But I remember when I was opening this car a minute ago, that story came to mind. I thought y'all'd like that. So, um, the little bit of humor that I have from that story was, he really had me going, and he had a good sense of humor. He knew how to pull my chain, and that was definitely no exception. So, hope y'all enjoyed that. Don't lose sight of what Christmas actually means, but it's good to riff raff in between family and kind of tease them April Fools, if you will, and just keep the I don't know. Just I'll always know that there's always it could always be worse. Keep good parts of humor in your life, and cherish those memories because you'll be very grateful for them as long as you can remember them. Your memory's sharp enough to relate to them. So have a good night. I'm gonna try to knock out these for y'all again tonight. The Datsuns and the Celine Mustang Fox Body. We'll get those done next probably, and then we'll cap the night with the Golf Mustangs and the little other variant of Honda I opened up. The 24 hours of Le Mans racing. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see you back here in just a minute. Thanks for watching.